Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am trying my hand at wood carving. Now I am not a wood carver by any stretch of the means. I have never tried it before. This will definitely be a first go for me on a major scale. And a issue that my family has when it comes to buying gifts for me is they don't know what to get me. Usually I buy what I want and I spend a majority of my free time building things, so it's like, do we get you tools or supplies, or what do we get you? My wife kind of hit it out the park this year. At Christmas time, she bought me a bunch of DIY kits. Now, you can buy a lot of these on Amazon, on Etsy, all over the place, where it is a box that has materials and instructions and all the things that go along with it to help you make an item. And she bought me this. It is a spoon making kit. I believe it's referred to as a Celtic love spoon. We'll get into that in the video, but it has all the supplies in here that I need, the carving utensils, all that stuff. All I think I have to buy for this is like finisher, like oil and wax and that kind of stuff. So without further ado, today we are going to try and make a spoon. Let's get to building. So this box comes with everything you need to actually carve the spoon. There is a decent step-by-step set of instructions as well as pictures for each step. It has a video tutorial also, but I chose to not use it. There is a hook knife for carving out the dish and the spoon, a whittling knife, leather strope with polishing compound, safety tape, band-aids, sandpapers, pencils, ruler, and a basswood blank. Like I said in the intro, this is my first go at carving wood, so the video that follows is a novice trying it for the first time. There are a lot of experts here on YouTube with a sea full of knowledge in wood carving. I watch quite a few of them, so step one is to make some marks to lay out the plans for the curves on the spoon and to help align the pattern that is also included in the box. You can get this one off of Amazon. I'll put links down in the description below. So I have a basic sketch of how I want the spoon handle to sit. I tape my fingers up like the instructions say to protect them from the wood and the knife, then begin the initial shaping before I attempt the Celtic knot work. I am going to try my best to use just the knives and the sandpaper from the box, but there may be a wall that I hit and I might use stuff not included when I get frustrated. You see me switch up my hand techniques quite a bit in this clip as I am trying to figure out which is the most comfortable and effective for me. Even though this wood is lightweight and relatively easy to carve, basswood is botanically classified as hardwood because it is derived from a broadleaf deciduous species called linden trees. To cut the V-groove that dips into the bowl of my spoon, I scored a line with my whittle knife to then carve towards. You don't want to make too deep a cut as it will chip out the wood. Shallow passes work the best, and when you get to the bottom of your scored line, if you need to go any deeper, you just repeat the same process. The booklet doesn't say to do this, but I'm going to sand the base shape I just carved to level out my initial shaping. As I am new at this, I am sure it may not be 100% even, so this should help. I have some sandpaper glued to a small board that I'm going to use to help me level this out. I am early in this project and still am doing my best to resist using any power tools to speed up the build. I'm trying to embrace the process and take my time, but I know from experience of building things that there will be a tipping point for me at some point. If you have been following me for a while, you've probably heard me say that I am a junior high teacher by day. I don't know that I've ever mentioned that my summer job from age 14 to age 17 was in a cabinet shop. While we did not do any hand carving, I did get a lot of fundamental skills in building as well as operating power tools, which this kit does not include and I am trying to refrain from using. That bottom curve took forever. Now, with the whittling experience, I can say from the bottom of my soul, when my hands are getting sore and tired, I might rethink the power tool abstinence. Yeah, I'm talking to you, underside of the bowl. You have a belt sander in the near future coming for you. Anyways, back to not arguing with a spoon. I trim up the pattern, glue it onto the blank, and then begin carving away the small pieces that are left over. While I do like the pattern that was provided, I feel like it's a bit narrow for this wood. If I tried the kit again, I'd probably thicken up those lines just a bit. Now on to the intricate knotwork, the part that I have been dreading. I don't want to mess this up because I've already put several hours in. I switched over to a hobby knife to make my scoring lines, which made it a little easier for me to see and hold. Once scored, I started hogging out the inside parts with my whittling knife. Those inside holes were extremely difficult to carve out. I could have used a drill and eventually did for just that small little hole close to the bowl and the spoon. Towards the end of this step, I was really not liking how the spoon looked, reaching what most people refer to as the ugly stage in a project. I almost stopped and scrapped the entire build. In the back of my mind, I could hear myself screaming, "Trust the process, keep going." So I pushed through. I did make a call and decide to make the pass through on the biggest part of the handle a recess instead to help maintain structural support. It may have ended up being okay, but I didn't want to ruin it getting close to the end. Now time for the bowl of the spoon. I'm gonna use this hook knife, which I am not familiar with at all, so at first I'm trying to figure out how to make cuts. Spinning the knife didn't really work, and eventually I figured out that bracing the blank with both my thumbs and scooping in small passes worked the best for me. It does produce really nice chips and was a nice change after doing all that gouging with the whittling. Sanding, sanding, and more sanding. I started with the lowest grit number sandpaper, which has the most coarse abrasiveness to it, and made it all the way to 220 before I realized that my camera was not recording. I probably sanded this tiny little spoon for a couple of hours total and really started to regret this Celtic knotwork at this point. So let's talk about the Celtic Love Spoon. I will admit I chuckled when I first read it on the paper, but after some reading, I've learned that several hundred years ago, young Welsh men would spend hours making decorative spoons to give to potential women of interest. The spoon carving would demonstrate skills and tedious dedication. Spoons were often decorated with hearts for love, diamonds for wealth, anchors for security, and Celtic knots for eternal love. Acceptance of such a gift would start a courtship between the two parties. Not included in the kit was a way to seal and finish the wood. I looked online and found this all-natural product that is food grade safe. I'll put links in the description below if you're interested. If you know of a different one or a better one, you can let me know in the comments. Typically used for cutting boards, it can also be used to finish wood spoons. I first cover the spoon with the mineral oil that has some citrus oil infused into it. I don't know if there's anything better than the smell of fresh cut wood and the smell of citrus. Like, this thing smells awesome. I know it's gonna look weird me just sniffing a spoon, but I might. I let the oil soak into the wood for about 2 hours. Then the mineral oil really kind of makes that wood grain stand out and shows the luster. Now the wood is ready for the wax finish. This Clark's finishing wax, which this isn't a sponsor, is made out of mixed Carnauba wax, beeswax, and more mineral oil. I wipe it on thick and let it seep into the grain for about 30 minutes to an hour and then buff off the spoon. It makes the spoon feel really soft and nice in the hand, and I'll probably add another layer to it after I finish the video. I'm super proud of how it turned out, and I know that if I did it again, I could make it better. If you are a wood carver and have any tips or suggestions for people to watch here on YouTube, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to check out some other people who are much more skilled than I am, so I can pick up some pointers if I'm doing this again. I love to learn new skills, and I can't wait to apply this on other mediums as well. And we are finished. Here is the end result. It didn't turn out exactly like I wanted it to. I was definitely aiming more for what the box looked like, and I got about halfway through and then realized I don't think that these parts are thick enough, and I was worried about them snapping, so I just made them recesses instead of making it go all the way through. definitely something that I want to try again. I want to see if I can hone my skills and make it a little better, and maybe use these techniques and these skills using other materials, or making a prop that's more conducive to an actual material. A lot of times I try and fake the way something looks, like turning in the EVA into wood or plastic into wood, and I could just use the real thing and it'd be a little nicer. So yeah, maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to pick up a new skill and hopefully make something that is acceptable. Not a chance. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're gonna ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these, tell them, much props. Yeah, this is not ever gonna see food. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and you want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.